Hello and welcome again. First and foremost, I want to start off with, again, sending my thoughts and prayers to the members of my county and especially the Roden family. To give a brief update on what we are doing, at this time I have deputies from my county and other counties that are keeping the scenes secured for the BCI agents and the investigators and deputy sheriffs that have completed the searches of the residences in case there's something that they may need to go back to. I want to stress that this investigation is very large, one probably the largest in Pike County that we've ever had and been a part of. It's very tragic. There's a family that's lost 8 members. I want everybody to be patient, but understand that we are working around the clock, 24 hours a day, working on every lead that comes in, all the tips, conducting the interviews. We will provide information as we can, but this is going to be a very lengthy process. Right now, I have a team from ODRC, the STAR team, that are going to the scenes. They are going to go to the wooded areas of each and every one of these scenes. There's 38 members to make sure that there is absolutely nothing that was missed or nothing of evidentiary value in the woods. If something is located, they will secure it, contact an investigator, an agent with BCI. That will be collected and then sent to the appropriate lab for testing. I want to reach out and thank everyone who has sent units, all the county sheriffs, Red Cross, other people that's provided food, Children's Services, the prosecutor's office, State Highway Patrol, SOCF, everyone that has came together, that's offered to help. We've had hundreds of people in the last days that's come to Pike County to assist in this very lengthy and very horrible investigation that we're dealing with. I'm going to let Attorney General DeWine speak.
Sheriff, thank you very much. Let me try to give a summary of what has been done so far. We have received over 100 tips. We've had conducted between 50 and 60 interviews, and interviews are continuing right now as we speak. There have been over 100 personnel involved in this investigation. 5 search warrants have been executed. 4 crime scenes have been worked. And as the sheriff just told you, some additional searching is being done. Let me mention for a moment the crime scene. Those crime scenes, we told you, were finished being worked early in the morning yesterday, but they are still being maintained and secured by the sheriff. This is at our request, and we believe that because of the seriousness of the case, that this should happen so that we can preserve that crime scene if we need to go back and take a second look, or if we need to go back looking for specific information. 18 pieces of evidence are now at the State Crime Lab at BCI. Those are being looked at by our DNA people as well as looked at for other purposes. Let me make a kind of a statement about the nature of this case. This was a pre-planned execution of 8 individuals. It was a sophisticated operation. And those who carried it out were trying to do everything that they could do to hinder the investigation and their prosecution. And I just state that because, as the sheriff has indicated, we would anticipate that this could be a lengthy investigation. This is not your case where someone has got mad at somebody else, they've shot them, there's a witness, 2 witnesses. It is very, very, very different type case. So let me also say that while we will continue to provide you with information in regard to what we are doing, as I just did with the tips and the interviews and the 18 pieces of evidence, what we are not going to be able to do is to provide you results. That may frustrate you, may frustrate members of the public, but our goal, we have to keep our eye on the goal. And the goal is to do everything within our power in this investigation to find these people or this person who has done this. We will not be telegraphing or telling the bad guys everything that we know. So we will continue to have briefings. We will continue to have information going out. But as the sheriff indicated, I think this is could very well be a lengthy investigation. This is not, while we use many of the tools that you see on TV, and we have great ability today with tools that we did not have 10 years ago or 20 years ago or 30 years ago. A lot of what is going on here is just basic old-fashioned police work. I would also mention that we would ask for anyone who has information about this to contact us. Jeff Ruby has been gracious enough, Mr. Ruby has been gracious enough to offer a $25,000 reward. I would again emphasize that money will be made available for someone who does bring us the key information that leads to convictions in this case. I'm more than happy to respond to any questions.
Mr. DeWine, were any drugs found at the crime scene?
I'm not going to comment on that.
So how many guns were used in these murders?
I'm sorry?
You said bad guys. How many killers do you think there are?
Don't know. It's a bad guy or bad guys. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think we know at this point.
How many guns were used in these murders, sir?
I'm not going to talk about that.
What 18 pieces of evidence you have?
Okay, we're not going to talk about it. Let me just do this again. And I know you all have to do your job, and I think you've always found me to be pretty accessible. I do not intend to give out one piece of information that in any way will endanger the prosecution of this case or in any way will slow down what our job is. The job that the sheriff and I are sworn to do, which is to protect the people of the state of Ohio. It is in the interest of the people of the state of Ohio that we find this murderer or these murderers as quick as we can. So much as I would like to be able to answer every question you have, and much as the sheriff would as well, we're simply not going to do it.
Were the rodents involved in illicit or illegal activity?
I'm not going to comment on that.
Was there any threat to public safety? Can you make a statement to the community here in Piketon?
Well, I think the sheriff has said it very well, and I'll let him get in here and say it again. But there's only been one family that's been targeted. We've already expressed to that family, many members of that family, are concerned. And the sheriff, I'm going to let the sheriff talk about that from a security point of view and a public safety point of view.
Was the family all shot the same caliber?
Let's let him finish that, and then we'll go to the next one.
Okay.
As far as public safety concerned and the citizens of Pike County, I've spoke with the family. It's very evident that they were a target of this horrible crime. Me and the Attorney General spoke with them. I cautioned them that they were a target, and I told them to be armed. For the other citizens of this county, I don't believe that there is an issue. I've taken the precautionary measures to contact other sheriffs. In the past days, we've had over 100 persons in this area, including extra deputy sheriffs, investigators, state patrol, patrolling the roadways in that area, out of county people patrolling county lines. We are very accessible. Anything out of the ordinary needs to be reported to local law enforcement so we can check it. I can tell you, if you are fearful, arm yourself. If you feel that you need to protect yourself or family, do so and contact the local law enforcement to come and respond to it. I cannot guarantee myself. We have almost 30,000 citizens in Pike County covering 797 road miles and 444 square miles. I took an oath to serve and protect my county, and I will do so to the best of my ability. But I cannot promise any one of those 30,000 that I can be there to stop anything. We will be available. Anything suspicious, report, and I will make sure that someone, including myself, is accessible to be there.
Question.
Was
He had a question here.
Was it always the same, all the same caliber?
I'm not going
Not going to comment on that.
Okay, so you made an interesting,
Okay,
so
thank
you
you.
made an interesting point. You said that
Okay, we got one here, and then we'll go back there.
you said the killer or the killers had gone to some lengths to get to the investigation and their prosecution. Can you talk about that? What do you mean by that?
No, we don't know whether it's one or more people who are involved in this.
What did they do to hinder the investigation?
I'm sorry?
What did they do to hinder the investigation? What should
This was very methodical. This was well planned. This was not something that just happened. This was something that planned. A family was targeted. Most of them targeted while they were sleeping.
And let me just say, if I said it incorrectly, I want to correct myself if I said that. Because it was well planned out, because it was premeditated, because they calculated this, what they were going to do, obviously anybody who is planning something will do everything in their power to make it difficult for those investigators to find the information. What I did not say, or what I did not mean to say, I may have said it, is that they've hindered the investigation. I did not mean to say that. What I meant is anybody who plans this out, clearly it's not like the person who does it at the spur of the moment. He comes up and shoots someone. You know, they thought this thing through, whoever did it, and they executed it. It was well planned out and thought out what they were going to do.
The other thing I would like to say is, in the end of this, we have to provide this to a prosecutor so this person or persons can be prosecuted. We will not have a second chance. We have to do it once, and we have to do it right. We have to be methodical. We have to be vigilant. We have to work around the clock, and we have to get the things that we need. So in the end, the prosecution has what they need to do their job as well.
Has this investigation taken you beyond Ohio, neighboring states perhaps?
No comment on that.
Is it still correct to say that you do not have any suspects at this point?
No comment.
So you made, but before
I would not read anything into that.
But before you said you had no suspects, are you pursuing leads? I mean, do you have someone in mind that it could be?
No comment.
Are the surviving Roden family members need extra protection?
I have spoke with the Roden family. We are very accessible to them. I'm not going to go into detail of what we are doing and what we are not doing with that family. Anything that they need will be provided by my staff or someone that I can reach out to.
Any idea on a motive yet?
Not going to comment on that.
No, you said you had some search warrants on some premises. What did you find?
No comment.
We've talked to a pastor who was a pastor to some of the victims as well as a best friend of the Rodens, the Dana Roden specifically. The speculation is that they were stalked. Does that speak to this being pre-planned, the methodical nature of this? Were they stalked?
I won't comment about the word stalking. It clearly was planned and executed.
And the person that you spoke with is not part of this investigation.
Is there any useful CCTV?
I'm sorry?
Have you found any useful film?
No comment.
You said 4 crime scenes, 5 search warrants executed. Can you comment on where that 5th search warrant was executed?
Not at this moment. I can tell you that those search warrants will eventually be filed, okay? And once they are filed, it'll be available.
Will they filed with federally or county?
It'll be
County.
with county.
Why be so tight-lipped about the investigation if there's people wanting to help out right now?
We want people to help out. We want them to come forward. We again say to the public, there's somebody out there who knows information. And even if you think it may not be that helpful, but you think it might be helpful, we would ask them to come forward, and we will, preserve the secrecy of their comments to us, the information to us, but we will run down everything that they give us. So again, we are pleading today to the public and also mentioning the fact there's a $25,000 reward for people who give us information that leads to a conviction.
Sheriff, is there a drug problem in this area?
There's a drug problem in most areas around here, and I would say there's a drug problem here.
There's a drug problem throughout the state of Ohio.
In your searches of the crime scene, have you find evidence of marijuana grow operations?
I'm not going to comment on that.
We saw a lot of activity today on the Unionville Road area. Can you tell us what was happening there? Was it collecting evidence? What was going on?
Ma'am, again, I have got a team of 38 people going to every crime scene, and they're scouting the woods, looking for evidence that may be in those parts of the crime scenes. If they locate those, they will mark them, contact an agent and an investigator. Working together, they'll go and they'll collect that evidence and do with it what we need to.
Are you looking for a specific type of weapon?
I'm not going to comment on that.
Sheriff, you said that people need to be armed, especially you said that you would recommend people be armed. You mean literally with guns or just in broad senses of protection?
I'm talking in the broad sense of protection.
Two different people, though.
Okay, there's two different people. We have a county with citizens that are concerned because we have a family that was targeted and lost 8 family members. I've specifically told the Roden family that I would be armed, and I would use what extent they have to protect themselves and their family. And if anyone, any citizen of this county, feel that they are in jeopardy of serious physical harm or death, then they can take those same measures.
What about the surviving victims? The 4-day-old baby, the 6-month-old, the 3-year-old, where are they right now?
I will not comment on that.
Can you give the gender of those 3 children?
Excuse me?
The genders of those 3 children?
I don't know if that's been released or not, has it?
I won't comment at this time.
So what about the postmortem?
In the future, when we find that out, I'll provide
We
it.
can provide that.
Have they given you any clues?
Local what?
Can you give us the details of the autopsy and the postmortem?
Absolutely not. Not at this time.
No one knows will be completed?
We believe, it's my understanding that 7 have already been completed. The 8th will be completed tomorrow.
How about ballistics reports or anything like that?
That's at our BCI crime lab. As I said, we're looking at the pieces of evidence from a DNA point of view and a ballistics point of view. We're going to be able to tell you the process. We're going to be able to tell you what we're doing. We're not going to be able to tell you the results. I know that's frustrating. I get it.
Was law enforcement familiar with the Roden family prior to this event?
Yes. We have a small county. We're familiar with most people.
In terms of a criminal sense, or that you just...
I won't comment on that. I have never been involved with that family in a criminal nature, and I've been in law enforcement locally for 20 years.
Governor Kasich been briefed frequently on this case?
I continue to brief the governor. The governor has expressed a real interest in this, has called me. I initially called him, but he continues to call me, and I continue to give him a briefing.
Have you been able to identify which was the main target of the 8 people who were murdered?
Look,
All
these
people that were murdered.
yeah, they were all murdered, and they were all murdered execution style. So they went after all of them.
Is there any sort of funding or any funeral fund sort of thing, any bank setting up an account or anything?
That I'm unaware of.
Yeah, we have a victim program in the Attorney General's office that we administer. We are reaching out to the families of the victims to make them aware of whatever possibility there is to access money in the future. It basically has to be unreimbursed, so it would be expenses that were not reimbursed by insurance or something else. The other thing that we do, we had, as the sheriff did and the county did, people at the church who are victim rights advocates who are used to dealing with people who are grieving and who are members of the families of victims. And that will continue as long as family members want any of that.
The pain is evident in this community, speaking to the local residents. Can you talk a little bit, expand about the emotional aspect for you as investigators, the emotion here felt in this community, the ruthless nature of these killings?
I'm a member of that community. It is very emotional to find out that 8 people of your community were murdered, okay? And that emotion is widespread throughout this county. All I can do is ensure that we're working around the clock that we're working in conjunction with multiple agencies so that we can search and find who is responsible for this.
Let me just mention from a personal point of view, I've been in Pike County many times over the last few decades. This is a wonderful county with wonderful people, beautiful place to raise a family. So my heart just goes out to the family members, but also to the whole community. This is something that very few people, fortunately, ever have to experience in a small county like this, to have 8 of their fellow citizens murdered in a calculated manner. It is just horrible. And so my commitment to the people of Pike County is that from the Attorney General's point of view and BCI point of view, nothing is more important that's going on in the state. We will continue to have dozens and dozens of people here. We will be with this investigation and with the sheriff until we find out who did this. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Which victims were at which addresses?
I'm sorry?
Which victims were at which locations? 911 call shed a little light on that, but
Let me see if we can get that. We'll see. Okay. Okay. Yeah. You want to do it, or want me to do it?
Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, you can give the details. Let me go ahead, and I think it's okay for us to confirm that we did find marijuana in 3 locations
near the crime scene or at the crime scene?
at the crime scene.
Like bags of marijuana?
Grow operations?
These are grow operations. Thank you all very much.